Hello and welcome back to Paul's Outdoor Academy. I appreciate you joining me for another episode. On this episode, we're going to be replacing the battery in this Minn Kota Ultrex trolling motor iPilot Link remote control. It has the touchscreen interface and it has worked very, very well for me, but I've had the trolling motor less than a year and I can no longer get this to take a charge. It's not totally dead. It shows about 1 bar out of 4 bars, but I can't get it to go any higher than that even if I let it sit for 2 or 3 or 4 days at a time on the charger. So I called Minn Kota and I told them what my problem was. They found me. I had registered all my equipment, so if you have not done that when you buy equipment, I highly recommend that you register it online. But they found me. All I had to do is give them my name and I think an email address, and they pulled my account right up and they said, yes, we see your product. Yes, you fall within the warranty period. So they suggested we go ahead as a first step and replace the battery in this unit. And so that is exactly what we're going to do on this show. So let me get the camera set up. I'm going to try to show you in very up close detail what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I don't expect this to be a challenge, but you just never know. So I hope you'll stay with me and learn from my successes or failures. But let's hope more successes than failures. Stay tuned. Alright, so welcome back, and the first thing you're going to see is a voltmeter sitting here, and I've got that set on 9 volts. And I was going to show you just very quickly what I did is this is the charging cable that came with the remote. I just simply put these on these leads, and let me put this in here where hopefully you can see that a little bit, and then also show you what I'm doing. There's a lead, and then here's a lead there. And what you're going to see is that's 4.99 volts. So I feel like the cord is doing its job if this is reading 4.99 volts. But let's keep that in mind and may have to come back to that later if this does not fix the issue. And so I will show you that the part that I ordered came from Johnson Outdoors, and that's Minn Kota. Battery comes in a bag. It looks like this. Fairly straightforward. I've seen other battery packs like this. Very small little two-way connecting pin on it right here. So I know the first thing that I'm going to have to do is take the remote control apart. You can't slide open a battery tray on this. You're going to have to remove these screws to get to this battery. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my screwdriver. I've got a multi-purpose screwdriver here, so it can do a little bit of everything. And I'm just going to loosen those. So got those two out, It's the back of the remote. And I'm going to just kind of slowly pry this apart. And you can see from the crack that's showing up in it that I'm not having to do much, and it is coming apart. Coming apart fairly easy. I'll rotate to this side. Now, it just popped loose. And I don't know what I'm going to get into because I've never been into this. I'm just going to kind of take my time, make sure nothing's going to fall out of it when I do this. Now, did you hear the click, the thunk sound? Good chance that that's the battery. And sure enough, there's the battery. So it's kind of nice. If you look at the way that I opened this and put the iPilot logo facing like this and flip this over, I just happened to pick the right side, but that's the one that holds the battery in this little tray. And there is the battery right there. Okay, so I've got the cover off now, and I moved the battery out of the way, and the next thing that we're going to have to do is remove this little, it's a two-way pin right here that I'm pointing at with my screwdriver, and we're going to have to pull this away from this receptacle right here. We're pulling the male end out of the female end. You don't want to mess this up because it's soldered directly onto the motherboard of the controller, and breaking that would probably be a big no-no. So I think if we just take the cable from what I read and pull straight back, just a little bit of pressure, I just put tension on the line itself, the red and black wire, and pulled. I didn't pull up, pulled straight back away from the connection, and it disconnected, no problem. And then we're going to take the brand new one that I have right here in my hand, and it's literally going to be just a matter of turn this in the right orientation in case you're not sure what the right orientation is, or you've already taken it out and you're afraid you're going to mess something up. Red, black is written right here on this connection. Red is on the left side, black is on the right side. So given that and this, we'll just flip this over temporarily to get the red and the black where they're supposed to be, like this. If you want to get this in pretty quickly, because your fingers are going to be in the way, and you're actually, if you try to do this, you see the angle that it's going to go in at, and despite your best efforts, it's only going to go so straight. You could just push this a tad up, push it just a little like that, and then when you get it down here to push it towards the hole, it's automatically going to be kind of sitting in a much better orientation. And so as soon as I get it close to that hole and put just a little bit of pressure, I can see that it's ready to go now. And so I'm not going to try to push it in by the wires. I did try to get it at least started, but I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to go back to this little pair of, this little bitty screwdriver, and I'm just going to push this in from the back side very carefully. It tries to rock to the side. I'm just going to kind of go one side to the next if that's what I got to do. That is it. And so to find out if we did good or not, I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to turn it on. And you can see the battery indicators up here on the left, and it's halfway up. The battery shows it's about half charged. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and shut the remote down by pressing the button. Now, in my case, I will show you the little rubber stopper came loose. So it might have been better to have just left that in, but if it does come loose, what I'm going to recommend you do is put it back in the hole, like that, and then just take this and press it over right there. You see this tiniest little bitty black thing right there? Just put that right in the hole and press this down. Okay, and then what you're going to do is just take this, and what we're going to do is we're going to just take this, we're going to lay that down in there. So I've got the back on now. I'm going to turn this over and lift this to the side so that I can see kind of how the battery is laying in here. And I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm going to put that down back where it was in this little square recess area. And I'm going to hold that down the best I can while I'm putting this back together. And then I'm just going to push this back together like it was. And voila. So all I've done there is I put all the screws back in. I finger tightened them with just the screwdriver bit. And they did not have a lot of torque on them at all. I'm not going to tighten these down very much. And there we have the remote. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the cover from the back. I'm going to plug this in. It can only go one way. The cord has a recess on one side, so it can only go in that way, which is the correct way. And it says that it's charging. And so I'm going to just let this charge. We'll come back after a few hours or maybe tomorrow morning and make sure this thing has finished charging. All right, and this has been sitting now for around 24 hours, roughly probably a full day. So let's see, I'm going to take the cord out and let's just turn it on. And what I've been getting when I do this is maybe 1 bar on the battery. Okay, so let's get this where you can see this. I'm really happy with the fact that I see a full battery. Folks, I think that took care of it. Alright, so that's going to wrap up this video. It seems like replacing the battery for now has fixed the problem that I was having. So I'm actually getting ready to go to Dayton to fish on Chickamauga, and I'm going to take it with me. So if anything goes wrong, I'll update everybody. But for now, it looks like the battery was the issue that I was having. So thank you, Minn Kota, for being so good about sending me a new one. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for all your comments and compliments and for everything you do for my channel. I appreciate it. Good luck out on the water. God bless. Have a great day.